This is a quick tutorial on the new and updated look of Google Drive, which you have access to as an employee of Albert Lea School District. To get to your Google Drive, you simply open up a Chrome browser from any computer that you might be on, and you log into the top right-hand corner where it would say to log in, or you can go to Mail or any of those features and just log in there. Once you get logged in, you can click on the Google App Launcher, which looks like the waffle with the 9 icons, and you simply can select your drive. Drive is your online storage for any of the documents or things that you would like to house. You can store Microsoft files, PDF files. You're not restricted to just Google files in your drive. One of the things that's really neat about Google Drive is it's accessible from anywhere. So as long as you have internet access, whatever computer you might be on, whether it's yours or a shared computer, public computer at the library, simply log into your Gmail or Google account and you can get to your Google Drive with unlimited storage of your resources. Quick reminder, this is a district-owned resource, so make sure that anything that you put in there is appropriate and professional for the school district. You don't want to get yourself caught up in anything, storing anything that might be violating copyright or infringing on the rights of others with your district Google Drive storage. When you open up your Google Drive, you'll see the toolbars along the side that give you where you're at. Across the top has your quick access. It gives you everything that you have been working on most recently will be up at your Google Drive or in your Google Drive. So this will constantly be changing with what you're looking at. If you want to add something to your Google Drive, you simply can click the new button. That will open up and you can create a new folder. You can upload a file. You can also upload an entire folder. The other thing that's neat with your Google Drive is that you can create a doc sheet or Google slide directly in your Google Drive. When you are setting up and looking at your drive, you have a couple of options that you're looking at. By default, you see My Drive, and that is your Google Drive storage. Team drives are something that we don't currently use. Hopefully, we'll get to that someday where your school site will have a drive and you will see school resources there, but that's not something that we currently use. Anything that is shared with you, say you're building administrator, your lead teacher, as special ed person sends something or shares something with you, this will be where all of the files are that are shared with you. So my drive when you're searching is going to have stuff that you own. Shared with me is going to contain all of the things that somebody else owns and they have shared with you. You can also search for anything that you would like by clicking up here in your search box. So you can search by default. You can look for PDFs, text documents, spreadsheets, presentations, or you can put in the name of something you would like. One of the things that I'm starting this year is a robotics club called Siberians. So if I type in the word Siberians and I hit the enter key, it will bring up all of the documents that I've got that have Siberians in it, whether it's the picture of our new club, our robotics folder that I keep all my stuff in, sponsor letters. I can see lots of what I'm doing with searching through my Google Drive. We're going to talk very briefly about settings. There are going to be a couple of settings that you're going to want to do. The cogwheel is where you're going to go to get to your settings. You can get to your settings for the drive by looking at the cogwheel and opening on there. If you want to look at mail settings, you would have to open up your Gmail and click on the same cogwheel. The settings will change based on the Google product that you're using. So if you're in Drive, you see settings for Drive. If you're in Gmail, you'll see settings for Gmail. So one of the things that you've got here, we click on our settings, and this will open up and it'll give us general information of what it is. It tells me what I'm using, how often I'm using. Right here, this box, you want to make sure that this box is not checked that says convert uploads. If you have the convert uploads checked, it will convert every file that you upload automatically to a Google Docs editor format. Microsoft files don't always come over nice and clean when they convert to a Google Doc, so I recommend that you leave this box unchecked. You can upload a Microsoft file in its native format, and then you can open it with your Google Doc and see if it converts nicely or if you need to make some changes to it. By default, your language settings are set by the district in the language settings that for English, but you can choose to change those language settings. Offline synchronization is not something that you should do, especially if you're on a shared or public computer. If you do have a device that's been issued to you and you know that you're going to be going somewhere where you don't have access, you can sync your doc sheets and slides, which will download a direct copy to your uh, the hard drive of the PC that you're using. Does not work on Chromebooks, but it's something that you can do if you're going to be an extended period. Be very careful with that because it can take a considerable amount of storage space if you've got a lot in your Google Drive. Just like with the Gmail, you can change your how you want your Google Drive to look. Comfortable is spaced out pretty good. You got a little bit of spacing. Cozy puts everything really nice and tight together, and compact makes it really tight and small. You can play with that and see what it is that you would like to do. If you use Google Photos, you can create a Google Photos folder that will put in all of your photos directly into a Google Photos folder. Um, Once you've looked at and you've got some of those settings in there, when you look at your information here, one of the things that you see is I've got like this Siberian's robotics folder is blue in color. If I right click on it, I can bring up information regarding that folder. I can open it with a particular app if I have something. The person with the plus is if I want to share this. So I can share this folder with my colleagues, maybe with a lead teacher, with my building principal. So I simply would open up the share icon and this will open up and say, here's how I would share this information. I simply type in the name of the person that I want to share it with, tells you who your information is already shared with. But then right here where you see the pencil, by default, they can organize, add, and edit, but I could change and say, nope, I want these people only to be able to view. So it goes to the eyeball. So depending on how I set this up, I can either give edit rights or view rights to my folders. The other thing I can do when I right click on this is I can add a star if it's something that I want it to be important, or I can change the color of it. Now you don't have an infinite palette, you have to choose from the colors here. But one of the things that's really helpful in your Google Drive is organizing your folders by color so that you can know all of my robotic stuff is blue, stuff that I have for my math class maybe is red, English class is green, however it is, however you want to set that up to get those going. You can also rename your folders. Naming conventions are very helpful, especially if you're going to use search. So if I'm going to search for something and I know that I am working with an algebra teacher, if every file, folder, and document I put in has something like algebra in it, when I go to search for algebra, it'll bring up all of my algebra documents. So I want to make sure that you want to make sure that you're using some sort of naming or color coding to help organize and keep your drive set. This is a great start for Google Drive. There's lots of really cool features, and at the my training site, you can also see the G Suite Learning Center that will give you more information, tips, tricks, and even a cheat sheet for Google Drive.